Buying a home in New Smyrna Beach sounds like paradise, but most buyers are blindsided by surprises they never saw coming, like hidden costs, missing services, and things you won't even believe until you actually live here. So in today's video, we are exposing the biggest shocks of New Smyrna Beach, so you know exactly what to expect before you make the move. If you're used to making a quick trip to Target or Costco, get ready for a major change. The closest Target around here is in Port Orange, which is about 25 minutes away. Traffic depending. And if you are looking for a major shopping haul, plan on going up to Daytona Beach, which is another 30 to 35 minutes. Or if you're looking for high-end stuff, you're going to be finding yourself going out west to Winter Park, Orlando area, which is going to be an hour plus to make it out there. So what we're seeing is families are just planning their trips around the weekends, and there are really no just quick trips to the store and back. So just depending on where you're coming from. The other thing around here in New Smyrna Beach, the medical health care is improving by leaps and bounds right now, but we still aren't super heavy into advanced specialized care. So if you do have advanced medical needs, you're probably going to be finding yourself going to some of the major, more specialized hotspots like Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, or Miami, all of which are an hour plus away. So Miami is going to be 4 hours south, Jacksonville is an hour and a half north, Tampa is about 2.5 hours west, and then like we already mentioned, Orlando is an hour west of us. So a lot of positives here. The big upside is you get to live in a quieter, less commercialized town, but you will be paying for it in gas and time. So if that is not inconvenient enough for you, wait until the AC goes out during the summertime. And if you know anything about Murphy's Law, prepare for your AC to be going out in the middle of summertime when you need it the most. So when you're here as a vacationer, all you're thinking about is fun in the sun and you're absolutely loving it. But when you live here year round, you will really begin to understand just how hot Florida is. It's not just a few hot days, it is months of relentless, hot, sticky humidityness where the temperatures barely drop at nighttime. So you will find yourself running your AC nonstop and only to step outside after 8 a.m. and be sweating through a shirt by 8:15. So the heat really is the real deal here, and most out-of-towners find their first summer here a really pretty big shock, having to deal with the entire summer of Florida heat. And really, I just think this because it just becomes so relentless and you're just expecting and begging for a break, and Florida will not give it to you until maybe mid-October. So when you are running your AC, obviously your AC bill goes way up, and as we just mentioned, usually you have some sort of AC issue during the summertime, so that you're gonna have increased repair costs with that as well. So, and you're just hoping and praying that when the AC man comes out, one, that he can get to you in time, and two, that it's not gonna be an expensive fix. So just be prepared for that for sure. And you know, also with the AC thing, when the storms hit and the AC goes out for a couple days, we are quickly reminded how brutal our Florida heat really is. And let's not forget about the mosquitoes and the no-see-ums. If you've never had any experience with no-see-ums, they're these little flying tiny piranhas with just huge teeth that you can't see until they're on you, and it's just a terrible thing. So that's why you see there's so many homes with screen-in porches in the New Smyrna Beach and Florida area in general, because we want to be able to enjoy paradise without our pests of insects trying to eat us alive. So biggest things there with that, it is paradise, but only if you're prepared for the reality of it. So we've been filming our YouTube videos for about 5 years now, and I believe this is the first time we've ever filmed at this location, and it's usually just because it's hot or it's busy. But this is the New Smyrna Beach Shuffleboard Courts. It's located right in the middle, the heart of the downtown beachside New Smyrna on Flagler Avenue. This is like a little time capsule that you can step back in time. Super cool area. It's built in the 1950s and not much has changed. So if you're here, definitely be sure to check it out. You really get kind of what an old school Florida vibe is like from the 1950s. So also, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome to the original Living in New Smyrna Beach YouTube channel. If it's not, welcome back. My name is Chris. My business partner Tim Loomis and I have been helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate in the Volusia County, Orange, and Seminole County areas for over a decade. Let us know what we can do to help you out and what you feel if you moved from out of town, what the biggest blindside moment for you was. The heat isn't the only thing that will make you sweat here in New Smyrna. Let's talk about the surprise maintenance nightmares that you'll find behind these charming homes. So this is going to be number 5 on our top blind spots that we see out of town buyers find, and this one is going to be more of a tweener. It's going to have two components, and a tweener is a term coined by my business partner's dad, Rob, of two things kind of coinciding right in the middle. So the first component is going to be strictly Florida salt life related, and the second component is just going to be historic homes related that I feel like you should know and be aware about. So the first thing, if you have never lived on the beachside or near salt air before, prepared to have a massive increase in your overall annual maintenance budget. So you get brand new things out there, AC, you've got bicycles, you put a pretty swing up on your front porch, everything will be rusted in months and look like it's been sitting out there for years, and you're that person that doesn't care about your property. So no, it just rusts, and it does happen. It happens quick, and unfortunately it is very hard to prevent or just basically keep at bay even. So just be prepared for that salt and sea air is going to really do a number on your home. So not just talking about things rusting, you're going to have increased roof maintenance as well, and just overall the wear and tear on your home, your vehicles, your golf carts. I mentioned bicycles, anything that you have outdoors, you leave your fishing rod and reels out there, will get destroyed and eaten up with that salt air. So we hear that one a lot. People definitely get blindsided by this one. Nobody really understands the true force and how serious this is until they actually get here and experience it, and they think, oh, it can't really be that bad. But I'm here to tell you it is 100% and more that bad. So just be prepared if you're going to be living on the beachside area to have just an increased monthly annual budget for just your overall maintenance costs and preventative measures as well. Now, if you're moving further inland, you're going to be a little bit off the coast. If you're moving out to one of the other neighborhoods that we've talked about, like the Samsula area or Venetian Bay, Sugar Mill, those areas are not going to be as susceptible to the salt and sea air just because they're going to be more mainland. So this is specifically talking about New Smyrna Beach side if you're really trying to live that beach style lifestyle. The second thing, just about these old school homes that you'll find, especially the ones I really guys want you to pay attention to, the ones that have just been renovated, because even though they've been renovated and they look nice and pretty, doesn't mean they actually went inside and changed the guts of the home, so to speak. So this means that they may not have rewired the home, they may have not replumbed the home, they may not have checked the home thoroughly for termites in the attic and other hidden spaces that termites may be, especially if the home has stucco. The termites love to get up in between the stucco and the wood frame of the house. Everything looks good on the outside, but meanwhile you've got the termites just having a heyday because nobody can see them, and the only way to do that is to cut a hole in the stucco and really go in for a major invasive inspection. So we say this not to scare you, we say it to warn you. We see a lot of people that will buy these homes that investors have come in and they have done a beautiful job with it, but when you start taking a closer look, all they've done is the cosmetic things on the outside to make the house look like a pretty shell, and they haven't done any of the major repair ticket items that will end up costing you tens and thousands in the long run. So really what you can do for this to make sure that you are as safe as possible with it and you're not going to get stuck footing a bill that somebody else should have paid is obviously use a local real estate professional and make sure that they have good connections with local vendors, mainly inspectors that are going to come in and do a great job. Make sure you get your home scoped for plumbing. Even if they just did new plumbing, still get it scoped. You want to make sure whoever did it the right way. And as you can tell, it sounds like we are speaking from experience for ourselves and from our clients as well. So take this, use our advice, and go live and be prosper and not flush your money down the toilet, and especially down a toilet that doesn't work. So really be on the lookout for that one. Again, this side is just more for homes in general. We also did a video on that, on what to be looking out for when buying homes. You can click the link up there to check out that video. But this is a major one, and just kind of circling back a little bit, that salt air will destroy your stuff. So just be prepared on that, and you just got to deal with it. While we're talking about hidden costs, let's talk about the insurance cost that catches almost every buyer off guard. Moving on to number 4, that is going to be flood insurance. If you're not from Florida, you may not have the experience of having required flood insurance. I will say with the flood insurance, you're only required to have flood insurance if you are having a mortgage on the property. So all lenders do require flood insurance on the property. I have yet to find a lender that will allow you to purchase a property and not have flood insurance if it is located in a flood zone. So if your property is not located in a flood zone and you are getting a loan for the property, you are not required to get flood insurance. I tell everybody that is moving to Florida, if your driver's license has the FL on it and you are a Florida resident and you have a home in Florida now, that you should just get flood insurance regardless. If you're not in a flood zone, flood insurance insurance is cheap. So the peace of mind that it gives you for how cheap it is, you might as well just get the flood insurance just to make sure you are better protected and better covered overall. If you are located in a flood zone, so this is going to be anything that is not a flood zone X, which is classified as not a flood zone. So if you're in a flood zone AE, that means you will be required to get flood insurance. This is going to depend on the elevation of your home, which for you to get the determination of what that elevation is, you are going to have to get what's called an elevation certificate. Your local real estate professional should be helping you throughout this entire experience and making sure you get all the right reports and the right studies done to make sure you are protected and you are not buying a money pit of a home. And most importantly, that you're not going to get to the closing table to find out a shocking surprise of that your mortgage has increased anywhere between $200 to $400 because now you have per month that you have to get flood insurance. We have seen this where this has happened, where we've been representing the seller and the buyer has come to the table and nobody has helped them really through the process, and they look at their final closing statement and see that it is much more than they anticipated because they have to pay for a $2,400 a year flood insurance plan, which increased their monthly payment to $200 extra than what they were anticipating. So don't let that be you. Make sure that you are checking the flood maps, that you are checking with your insurance providers or real estate agent and your lender as well. Just keep in mind that the insurance provider and the lenders are really the ones that have the final say if your house is in a flood zone or not. There are lots of flood zones in our area where homes kind of teeter in between. A little bit of them's in the flood zone and a little is not. Don't use the local real estate agent that you're using to say yes or no that it is not or it is, because at the end of the day, it comes down to the lender and the insurance providers on what their risk assessment is, and they're the ones that are covering you and giving you the money. So if you've got a real estate agent that is swearing to you up and down, telling you it's not and trying to make you feel better or whatever it is, you need to go with the people that are actually going to be signing on the line with you, and that's going to be the lender and the insurance provider as well. So again, if you're not in a flood zone, you're not required to have it. If you are paying cash for your home and you are purchasing a home cash that isn't in a flood zone, you're still not required to have it because you own the home outright, and there's no risk from a lender involved there. So if you are buying the home cash, no need to worry about flood insurance if you're in a flood zone. I will still say, if you're in a flood zone and you bought your home cash and you're not required to have it, still get it. You still will be required to get that elevation certificate, and that's when a surveyor comes out and they determine the true elevation of your home based on what that floodplain level is, and how low or below you are that floodplain will determine on how much the insurance will cost. So the lower you go, the higher your insurance will be for that property. So be on the lookout for flood insurance if you're not used to it, and make sure that you are prepared for what that could or could not be for you. But even if you dodge the cost of the flood zone insurance, there is certainly another cost that you will not be able to avoid. Let's zoom on to number 3, and that is going to be the unbelievable suckiness of the traffic in New Smyrna Beach now. I say this as a true local speaking here. You used to be able to get across town in 10 minutes flat, no problem. Any time of day, you could count on being somewhere in a timely manner, no issues, no island traffic jams. And I feel like that we encounter these island traffic jams all the time now, mostly in part due to all the new development that's going on. There's new development happening on Beachside. You've got projects happening there. You have the new Pioneer interchange that's going in, that's creating a new ramp off the interstate, a new cut through to the new Smyrna Beach area. You have major development going on just south in the Edgewater area. You have new developments on Pioneer Trail, Ardesia Park. You've got Venetian Bay expanding, and you've got the Sugar Mill area expanding. There's a projected new Advent Hospital supposed to be going up and in service in like early 2030 is when that's expected to be. So it's just a bloody damn mess right now, and it's just kind of what it is. So I know when people hear me talk about this, they may think, get over it, and you're making just such a big deal of this, and it's really like, you know where I come from, and great, I'm happy for you, but this is where I come from, and I'm just not used to it yet, and I'm gonna continue to stand on my soapbox and complain about the terrible traffic and how it just gets clogged up in certain key gridlocked areas, and it just is a trickle effect across the board. Beachside stays continually burdened with the parking and the jammed up traffic, and that's mainly just because of all the people coming over, particularly just the weekend warriors from Orlando doing a quick mission on the beach run, and there's only 2 entry and exit points to the new Smyrna Beach beach side, and one of those is a drawbridge. So if the drawbridge goes up and you're on a heavy holiday weekend, you know, forget about it. It's going to be 45 minutes to an hour to gain access to really anywhere on that beach side. And, you know, God forbid there's any sort of like emergency or ambulance or fire truck, and then, you know, you're really just kind of stuck right in the middle of it all with really no amount of options to have. So our town just wasn't built or designed for it. The infrastructure's not there for the heavy traffic, and right now we just seem to have heavy traffic. I'm hoping that with the new traffic patterns that are being developed and built out, that may help. I think that I am probably just telling myself a sweet little lie with that, but be prepared for that. You know, our biggest thing with people coming in from out of town, from bigger cities, is they're really just expecting a easy, slow moving life and be able to just kind of meander and get to and from where they're going. New Smyrna is in a growth stage, and I believe we're going to continue to be for a while. So if you are looking for a little bit more of a sleepier town that's going to stay a little bit more flatline, New Smyrna may not be for you. We're definitely growing. We've definitely been found out. We're on the map. So I do believe we are a big up and coming beach town to the Florida area. So that is my biggest complaint on the three things that get blindsided by is just the traffic here. So be aware of that. Now, again, as I mentioned, if you're coming from somewhere, Miami, Orlando, a big city somewhere, Texas, wherever, I get it. This is kids play compared to what you're dealing with over there. But again, we just want to let you know, we want to be as transparent as possible that traffic just isn't great right now. What also isn't great are the high taxes and low household income in Volusia County. This brings us to number 2, and here's a financial gut punch that catches a lot of people by surprise, is how Volusia County has one of the highest tax bases in all of Florida, and we have some of the lowest household income numbers in all of Florida as well. So this can be a significant impact for you, especially if you're moving from out of state, from an area with lower taxes, and you're just not used to the high property tax amount that we have here in Florida and in Volusia County in particular. So we say this to make sure that you're really planning for the future and understanding, especially if you're getting a mortgage or if you're just going to be on fixed income, what your true expenses are going to be throughout the year. We've seen a lot of times with helping buyers come from out of the area where their monthly payment just gets completely blown out of the water and they're not able to make the move because of the cost of property taxes just really kills the deal on it. So don't lie to yourself. Don't bury your head in the sand. Make sure you know, you're aware, and you're prepared what the property taxes are going to be. And as I mentioned, even if you're paying cash and you're coming here on fixed income, you really want to be able to understand what your yearly taxes are. Homesteading your property definitely helps. We can do that for you. We can help you, you know, through that process and point you in the right direction. But this is going to kind of help you lock in your taxes, so to speak, and make it so that you are locked into a certain percentage that can only go up on your taxes year after year if your property is homesteaded. Again, that's going to have to be a primary resident for you to homestead your property here in Florida. If you're doing that and you're not, and they catch you, you'll be in big trouble. So don't do that. But taxes are a big deal here. It's constantly coming up in the city and the county meetings as a whole. For whatever reason, that just seems to be the deal. I do think that household income will start to go up. We are having a lot more notice from other industries that are coming in here. We're located within the technological corridor, so I know New Smyrna and our sister city Edgewater, along with Port Orange just to the north of us in Daytona, are all really trying to come together. And we are getting notice of some bigger manufacturers. So we see that in the future that we should have a better industry outlook here as a whole. Right now, our area relies really kind of heavily on tourism. And if you're not in that sector, you're going to find yourself driving probably to Orlando or so for a more higher income paying job. Not to say that there's not any here, because there certainly is, but they're just not as common as you would find if you were in Orlando, where your household income is probably closer to 100,000 plus a year. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are still coming here to live here and work here, that the job hunt could be a little bit more challenging, especially if you're used to making more from wherever it is you're coming. So let us know. We can help get you pointed in the right direction for the job search as well. So, but taxes are a big deal. Here we go with the big 5. Number 1 is going to be always check your numbers. You've got your mortgage, insurance, property taxes, utilities, and maintenance. Always check these 5 big numbers. This is going to give you the whole picture on what your true monthly expenditures are going to be and what that overall annual outlook is going to look like for your expenses. So that's probably the number 1 big one. Number 2 following up is going to be make sure you get a proper and thorough inspection. Make sure that you are using a local and trusted inspector that knows the area. Don't just use, you know, handyman Jim or your cousin Ed. Make sure that you get somebody that really knows what they're doing and that you get the proper 4-point inspections done to make sure that you can get the correct insurance that you will need for the property as well. Number 3 is always check the flood maps. You want to know if you're going to be in a flood zone or not. If you're okay with being in a flood zone, a lot of people are. It's just kind of a Florida adopted lifestyle. Be prepared on paying the flood insurance costs required by the lender. If you're paying cash, remember you don't need to pay for it. We still always recommend you getting flood insurance, whether you're paying cash or you live in a flood zone or not. Just go ahead and get it and you'll have a lot better peace of mind overall. Number 4 is going to be check out the new traffic patterns and any new developments that may be coming into the area. You don't want to get blindsided by buying a house now and then in a year, 2 or 3, a whole new development's going to pop up behind you. And lastly, number 5 is plan your big trips to the box stores or the higher end amenities. This is going to allow you to truly live that relaxed beach style lifestyle and not have to worry about running to the store every day. So just do a quick hit and run on the weekends or a monthly trip, whatever is going to work best for you. But overall, we want you to be parked here and enjoying the lifestyle and not worried about when and where and how you're going to make it to your shopping extravaganzas. And a bonus number 6, talk to the locals, talk to the neighbors, see what the neighborhood's really like, what life's really like, just to make sure it's going to be a good fit for you overall. So if you are wanting to move to the new Smyrna Beach area and you're wanting help navigating this area, making sure that you're not blindsided by everything, that you're making the right moves, and that you have a home that's going to fit your budget, please reach out to us. I help buyers every day make the move here, even whether you're looking to move out of town or across town. Let us know. We're happy to help however we can, even if it's just point you in the right direction, whichever way that may be. You can email us. All of our information is in the description below. We appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing you in next week's video.